I'm going to start something from the Bible because, this has been one of the very main things that troubled me when I was a Christian, and uh, the moral question that we ask of every religion, it does not even stand for Christianity and Judaism. And the question is like, where does the morality of God lies? Because there are some things that we take inherently wrong today, and we think that God would take these things equally wrong. But in some ways, when we see that in the Bible, the morality of today, or the morality of the uh, later era in the Bible, you know is something that would see these things which are written in the book of Genesis very wrongly, because those things cannot be justified in any way. Like, Abraham trying to kill his own son is one of those things uh, that you can say that it's totally insane, and no sane person would do that, and we wouldn't consider anyone who does that today to be a sane person. We would definitely think that that person who does such a horrible thing belongs in a mental hospital. But there are some other things as well, and there is a point of view, and there is uh, a narrative that is against homosexuality that is built in the Bible, and in the book of Genesis we have chapter 19, in which God rains rains fire over the what you say, the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he kills everyone that is there. So the chapter 19, it says that, verses 1 to 13, if we read, like, and he said, behold, now my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your way. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned into in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house around, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. So this guy, Lot, who is supposed to be a prophet of God, in according to Islam, and he is one of the revered men in the Bible according to Christianity, but he's doing according to Judaism as well. But he's saying he's giving his virgin daughters to the people who wanted to know those men. So wanted to know means that they wanted to have sex with these men. And how sick his mentality is, that he's saying that I will give you my daughters, and you can rape them, or you can do whatever with them you want to do. So, but and they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came into the sojourn, and he will need to be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the man put forth his hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door behind. So then in the end, what happened? These angels, these men were supposed to be angels, and they cursed those people. And what happened in the end is, Then the city was burnt down, and Lot and his wife and his daughters, they were led out of the city by these angels, and then uh, fire rained from the sky on Sodom and also on Gomorrah. But in the next chapter, yeah, chapter 19, 30 to 33, we will see. And Lot went up to Zoar, went out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him. And he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the death. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine the last night, that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down and when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, behold, I lay yesternight with my father, let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou and lie with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, not when she arose. Thus were both daughters of Lot with child by their father. So both of them were pregnant by their own father, and the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab, and same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger one, she also bare a son, and called his name Banami, the the same as the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. So, what is this sick mentality of a father having sex with his own daughters? God is punishing Sodom and Gomorrah for the homosexuality, but he's allowing incest here because the wife of Lot was changed into the pillar of salt when they were getting out of the city, and the angels had told them, "Okay, you cannot look back." So the wife looked back, and she was turned into a pillar of stone. And now the father and the daughters go ahead, and then they have this incestuous relationship in this cave. And in the end, what happens is the daughters bear children for their own father. And it's was this, if according to the Bible homosexuality is such a sick thing, or a sin, then how can you justify this, what happened in this cave, that the daughters had sex with their own father and they became pregnant of him, and in the end this is what happened. So one other story comes to my mind where Noah drinks wine, and you know he's intoxicated by the wine. And what happens is, Canaan, the grandson of Noah, comes and sees that Noah, who is totally drunk, is lying naked. And he goes to his father and he tells him that, the grandpa is lying naked, and he also laughs about it. But when the other two sons of Noah know, they come and they have a blanket in their hands, and they do not look at the nakedness of their own father. So when Noah gains his senses, he says that, he curses Canaan and his father. So at one point, this thing, just having a look upon the nakedness of their father and laughing about it, is just a grave sin for them. And Canaan is cursed by him, and even the Israelites later on, see the Canaanites with the same fervor, because he was the one who looked at the nakedness of his grandfather, and he was cursed, and Noah gave him such a bad curse, and that curse seems to be justified in the Old Testament. And that is considered a great sin, to just have a look at the nakedness of their own father. And here two daughters are having, not only looking at their father, they are having sex with him. And there's nothing bad there. No one thinks that it is something bad. So if you think about this morality of what is found in the Old Testament, especially in the book of Genesis, we are really baffled by the absurdity that we find there, and in the end, what we see is that it's really horrible. And later on, when God give them the Torah and the law, and in that, then there are a lot of things like, if two men have sex, you can kill them. If a man has sex with an animal, you would kill both of them. Even the animal has to be stoned. If a man is having sex with an animal, it's the man who is the perpetrator, and the animal is being just raped there. So what God does is he says even the animal has to be stoned to death. Not only the man who has sex with the animal, but the animal also, because animal is not the one who is doing it, it's the man who is doing it. But God even says that the animal should be killed. And then there are other things as well, which are like, if a man finds a girl in the field and he just rapes her, so he has to pay something to her father, in response of to get retribution for the wrong deed that he has done. And there is another possibility there as well. If someone rapes a girl in the field, he has to marry that girl if she is a virgin, and he can never divorce her. So the things are being looked upon from the male perspective, or from the perspective of the perpetrator here. The victim is, the victim is non-existent here. No one even thinks about what happens with the victim here. So if someone is raped by someone, and then they have to get married to that person and have to spend their whole life with that rapist, so what would you think about that? What would be the main, how would the victim feel? Will that horror of the rape come to their mind every time that they are having sex? This is a very, very twisted fate that God instills upon his subjects. So if I see that what kind of morality God has, I would say that all of you who are listening, you have a much better morality than God, than any god. All of these gods, may from Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, whatever they have this twisted sense of morality, this dark morality they have. So it's just horrible.